This is Eagle Owl, and today we're going to talk about the Eagles dissing the Green Bay Packers and how they were close to banning the tush push, but just not close enough. Also, A.J. Brown being the best wide receiver in the game. We're going to talk about that. And lastly, we're going to bring back a throwback of Devonta Smith hitting the hard knocks. But let's get straight into it. All right, man, before we hop straight into it, and before we talk about the tush push or anything like that, there's something that was brought up in the meeting that I actually like is that they introducing a new award called the Protector of the Year Award, whereas though this reward is strictly for the offensive lineman. We get it, the wide receiver sells or the running back sells, so you give them Offensive Player of the Year. You basically made the MVP a quarterback award, and then the defense got their own award. Now, what about the offensive linemen? These guys are the engines to the offense. Again, yes, the quarterback is the fancy leather seats, maybe even the exterior of the car. Then you got the wide receivers who are the car, who is the model of the car, the Mercedes, and your luxury cars, I will say. Then your running back, they the speed of the car, all that stuff looks good. And then you get up under the car, and it's the engine that make all of this stuff go. Cause with a blown engine, we know the car can't go. So that's how I look at offensive linemen, and they deserve their own award. They definitely do. Now, I would love to see Lane Johnson win one of these. Hell, I wish Jason Kelce was in the league when they came up with this reward. But I know like Deion Dawkins, and I think like Lane Johnson. I believe I heard Jordan Mailata mention it a bit. Like we need a reward for the offensive lineman because the offensive linemen don't sell. They won't get offensive player of the year. They won't get an MVP. Hell, they could go a whole season without allowing a sack. But yeah, that'd be cool for a PFF stat, cool for an NFL stat. But they're not gonna get any reward for it. Hell, they get a lot of money too, but that reward or that trophy to bring home individual award at that they won't get, unlike again the offensive player of the year, the MVP, defensive player of the year. So shout out to the NFL for coming up with that. But shout out to the NFL and the teams that were on our side that voted to not ban the tush push. And Jason Kelce actually talked about this on his podcast before showing up to the meeting. But let me play this clip.
Lastly, obviously, there's the tush push, which they are voting on banning. It feels like this is the most legitimate chance it's had since they've been voting on it to be banned. I'll say this. I'm actually going to Minnesota.
What?
So there were some things said at the last owners meeting. Some of the owners and coaches hinted that the reason I stopped playing was because of the tush push and that I got hurt on the tush push frequently.
What the f-?
I'm just going to answer any questions people have about my partaking in this play. I don't care whether it gets banned or not. I think that at the end of the day, this is why you vote on things. And if they vote to ban the tush push, the Eagles are still going to run quarterback sneak at a very high percentage.
92% exactly.
I'm just going to offer any type of if anybody has any questions about the tush push or whether I retired because of the tush push, I'll tell you this right now. I'll come out of retirement today if you tell me all I got to do is run 80 tush pushes to play in the NFL. I'll do that gladly. It'll be the easiest job in the world, and it'll be like 80 some snaps.
I can't wait to see a picture of you with a poster that says pro tush push. Keep the push. Push my tush. Push my tush.
Do you think it's weird that I'm going? Should I go? Should I not go? I've been going back and forth.
I think you're doing Philadelphia and the Eagles organization right by going in here and representing that it's not what people are making it out to be. I think you're being a good teammate and a good player of the organization or former.
It's crazy, right? And then you see right here, this him leaving from Minnesota back to Philadelphia after the meeting because there are multiple reports coming out like Jason Kelce swayed some owners to actually, vote against the ban. Now, I know a lot of people going at Jonathan Gannon and Shane Steichen because the Colts and the Arizona Cardinals voted for the tush push to be banned, but it wasn't up to the coaches. It was just up to the owners. And, you know, it's still here. I get it. We want to hate Shane Steichen. We want to hate Jonathan Gannon because it seemed like they were the ones. Nah, this was just the owners meeting. And some teams held it down, like the Saints. Nothing to do with Kellen Moore. It was just the owner that wanted to keep it. The Ravens. It's more teams. It was about 10 teams on that side. Ironically, it was 10 to 22. So 22 teams actually voted to get it banned, and 10 teams voted to keep it. So they needed about two more votes. And it's funny that 22 to 10, that sounds so familiar, right? We beat the Packers 22 to 10, and we beat the Packers again 22-10. So yeah, man, I think Jason Kelce's speech helped a lot. And we know the Eagles decided to put out a post. They put out a post like push on. They selling merch on this now. Just straight up going after the Green Bay Packers. Jeffrey Lurie even put out a statement, and he was mentioning like, yo, this play is so unstoppable. You guys are coming up with ways to try to ban it. He's like, hell, to me, this is like it like a teenage boy having a wet dream. He went that deep into his, conversation. Then he also mentioned like, you know what? If y'all ban it, I don't care. I got my rings bit, dog. I got the ring already. So either way, banned or not banned, I'm a winner. I'm a winner in this because one, again, y'all want it banned because y'all can't stop it. And two, if it don't get banned, y'all still can't stop it. So I'm a winner. I'm definitely a winner. Don't talk about the safety. And then even Jason Kelce in that clip said like, yo, it was meetings going on saying the reason why he retired is because of the tush push. And Jason Kelce even said like, yo, I would be in the league today if we just did 80 tush pushes a game. It's more than that why he retired. Like the tush push had nothing to do with that. And the tush push is not a lot of collision. It's just a lot of pushing. Just getting guys out the way. Maneuvering them out the way. That's it and that's all. So the tush push survived. In my honest opinion, I was wrong on this one. I think going into next year, this is going to come up again. I think they probably get two more teams to vote, to ban it. So let's enjoy my personal opinion the last year of the tush push. These teams are straight haters. Unless they find a way to stop it, then the tush push ain't going nowhere. But if they don't, and the Eagles, still converting a 1 yard or whatever, it's gonna get banned. It's gonna get banned. So I like the diss and other Packers. I like the things Jason Kelce said about the tush push and how he actually helped the Eagles. It's been a lot of bad press with the fans and Jason Kelce for whatever weird reason. But he was like Jordan in the fourth. He came back and now the fans love him again. So shout out Jason Kelce. But let's talk about AJ Brown. Let's talk about some skill guys. I'm talking about the old line, Protector Award. Let's get into a skill guy. AJ Brown, according to PFF, they made their rankings of the wide receivers. And I couldn't agree more with AJ Brown being number one. I always felt like AJ Brown was the best receiver in the game because he's on a team that's not pass happy, but he found his ways to be an all pro. AJ Brown, since being in the league, he found himself in a weird situation. Like he was with the Tennessee Titans. They had Derrick Henry, who was the best running back in the league. And sometimes AJ Brown could be looked at as second fiddle. Then he comes to the Eagles. He do what he do. But then Saquon comes in, and he's still that shine a bit. And AJ Brown knowledge said like, yo, Saquon Barkley might be the best football player I ever seen play. But AJ Brown being so dominant, he had to take a step back because Saquon Barkley was so dominant. Whereas though you got like CeeDee Lamb, a bad run game, mid-tier offensive line. So the ball's going to get thrown to him a lot. Jamar Chase, pass-happy team. Who else in the top five? Justin Jefferson, pass-happy team. You get where I'm going with this. And whereas though with AJ Brown, he's on a run-happy team. But again, he finds his ways to get his numbers. and be dominant. He was so dominant, I don't even think he dropped a pass. And PFF had this to say on why they put AJ Brown number one.
I have AJ Brown as the best wide receiver in the NFL. From a 3-year sample size, AJ Brown is the highest graded wide receiver that we have amongst these three. When you look at his overall receiving yard, Jamar Chase has actually played 350 more receiving snaps, and yet AJ Brown has more receiving yards than he does at over 4,100, and Jamar Chase has just over 4,000. So he beats him in receiving yards there. Yards per reception, AJ Brown is number one amongst these three wide receivers at a 15.1. Receiving touchdowns, yes, Jamar Chase is higher, but AJ Brown is second in front of Justin Jefferson with 25 compared to Justin Jefferson's 23. When you look at total drop passes over the last 3 years of these three wide receivers, AJ Brown has the least. Yards per route run, AJ Brown has the most of these three wide receivers at 2.57. And then when you look at average depth of target, still 12.7. AJ Brown, once again, number one. And then forced missed tackles per reception, AJ Brown, number one amongst these three wide receivers at 55. So the 3-year sample size is totally there in AJ Brown's favor. AJ Brown, number one amongst these three wide receivers just last year in total receiving grade at a 91.6. And then this is the one that I really love. Whether you are looking at a 3-year sample size or a 1-year sample size, just what happened last year, AJ Brown is the number one wide receiver in the NFL when it comes to receiving grade and statistics against single coverage situations. That's why I understand AJ Brown doesn't play a ton in the slot. He's more on the outside. So when it comes to versatility there, when you put AJ Brown in situations where it's their best cover corner against him, he wins almost all the time. I did not go into this exercise thinking that I would have AJ Brown as my number one wide receiver in the NFL. But no matter what metric you look at and no matter what sample size you look at, this is the dude. And he is my number one wide receiver going into 20.
AJ Brown is like that. If you put AJ Brown on a pass happy team, like AJ Brown can go for 1,800 yards, but he's in a good situation where though he could still get his numbers on a balanced team that runs the ball, and he just make the most of his opportunities. Anytime AJ Brown talk about his role, he's like, yo, I know how this team is ran, but when I get that opportunity, when I get my 7, 6, even 5, maybe I have one of those games I get a lot of targets, he don't drop passes at all. He made the most of his opportunities. Shout out to AJ Brown, man. You know, he's one of those ones. He is definitely one of those ones. But let's get into the last topic, Devonta Smith. I had to bring this one back because the Eagles, well, not just the Eagles, the NFC East is featured on Hard Knocks. So it's going to be the Eagles, Washington, Giants, and Cowboys. And I think they're going to have the Bills for the training camp, Hard Knocks. And, you know, back when we didn't know if the Eagles were going to be featured on Hard Knocks or not, and before the rules changes, this is what Devonta Smith had to say about the Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks before, right?
Is it a curse?
It has to be a curse.
I wouldn't say it's a curse. I think they just pick teams they feel got a lot of stuff going on, like a lot of drama and stuff, which I'm surprised they haven't mentioned the idea of this.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to lie. In Philly, it's a movie, man. If they had Hard Knocks with us, man, they'd be like, man, this is a crazy team. So I'm glad they ain't picked us.
I don't know if they've ever done one on a team after winning a Super Bowl. They're probably going to watch this and be like, hey.
I hope we decline, man.
I love Hard Knocks.
I do like it. I do.
It's quality television, man.
Maybe because I'm speaking from the outside now, but like it's needed to have that glimpse of what's actually happening and how this shit is being built. But I understand as an athlete, man, you don't be wanting to see them cameras in there.
Facts.
I hear you.
You getting watched in everything you doing.
They don't feel authentic.
My all-time favorite Hard Knocks moment, you know the one. DeAndre Hopkins versus D'Angelo Hall.
Hey, man.
It was cinema.
You can't put them two teams together in training camp.
The joint practice.
Regardless, Hard Knocks or not, you're going to see that.
You know, it's cool, but I wouldn't want to be on it. Well, sorry, Devonta Smith. You will be on it this year. And I think it's going to be dope because usually they have like 2-3 teams, but to have the whole division, it's pretty cool. And that lets you know what the NFL thinks about the whole division. They want to bring that viewership because they know the NFC East. Say what you want about the Giants, they got some fans there that'll watch. Eagles got a very strong fan base. We know that for sure. Cowboys, Yeah, they fan base is pretty strong. They everywhere. I won't call them loyal, but they everywhere. And Washington is starting to get their fans back. They exciting. So this division is very exciting to watch. So it doesn't surprise me that the whole division was picked. The NFC Beast was picked to be a Hard Knocks. But Devonta Smith, we gotta suck this one up, man. But that's all I got for you guys today. Hey, man, what do you think? How do you feel? A lot of tush push talk, but we had to talk about it, man. We definitely had to talk about it. So it's here for one more year. Also, A.J. Brown, the best in the game. Devonta Smith said, not me with Hard Knocks, but it's here. This is Eagle Owl, man. I'm out.